activities. The artist in particular
A mistake.
is often found as a magnet for persons with antisocial personalities who see in his art
We'll find something you're good at.
something which must be destroyed and covertly, as a friend, proceed to try. 11. Helping others is an activity which drives the antisocial personality nearly berserk. Activities, however, which destroy in the name of help are closely supported. 12. The antisocial personality has a bad sense of property and conceives that the idea that anyone owns anything is a pretense made up to fool people. Nothing is ever really owned. The basic reason the antisocial personality behaves as he or she does lies in a hidden terror of others. To such a person, every other being is an enemy to be covertly or overtly destroyed. The fixation is that survival itself depends on keeping others down or keeping people ignorant. If anyone were to promise to make others stronger or brighter, the antisocial personality suffers the utmost agony of personal danger. They reason that if they are in this much trouble with people around them weak or stupid, they would perish should anyone become strong or bright.
Hey, Mike, can you review this for me? It's really important.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right.
Such a person has no trust to a point of terror. This is usually masked and unrevealed. When such a personality goes insane, the world is full of Martians or the FBI, and each person met is really a Martian or FBI agent. But the bulk of such people exhibit no outward signs of insanity.
Did you check that out?
Oh, yeah, Raoul. Really nice work. Hey, good job.
Thanks.
They appear quite rational. They can be very convincing. However, the list given above consists of things which such a personality cannot detect
I just thought you should know.
in himself or herself. This is so true that if you thought you found yourself in one of the above, you most certainly are not antisocial. Self-criticism is a luxury the antisocial cannot afford. They must be right because they are in continual danger in their own estimation. If you proved one wrong, you might even send him or her into a severe illness. Only the sane, well-balanced person tries to correct his conduct.
Told you not to do that.
If you were to weed out of your past those antisocial persons you have known, and if you then disconnected, you might experience great relief. Similarly, if society were to recognize this personality type as a sick being, both social and economic recoveries could occur. Things are not likely to get much better so long as 20% of the population is permitted to dominate and injure the lives and enterprise of the remaining 80%. As majority rule is the political manner of the day, so should majority sanity express itself in our daily lives, without the interference and destruction of the socially unwell.
Excuse me, Mike. Can I see you in my office, please?
The pity of it is, they will not permit themselves to be helped, and would not respond to treatment if help were attempted. An understanding and ability to recognize such personalities could bring a major change in society and our lives. Man, in his anxieties, is prone to witch hunts. All one has to do is designate people wearing black caps as the villains, and one can start a slaughter of people in black caps. This characteristic makes it very easy for the antisocial personality to bring about a chaotic or dangerous environment. Man is not naturally brave or calm in his human state, and he is not necessarily villainous. Even the antisocial personality, in his warped way, is quite certain that he is acting for the best and commonly sees himself as the only good person around,
I'm the one here working all day.
doing all for the good of everyone. The only flaw in his reasoning being that if one kills everyone else, none are left to be protected from the imagined evils. His conduct in his environment and toward his fellows
Dude, that's the second one.
Hey,
is the only method of detecting either the antisocial or the social personalities. Their motives for self are similar: self-preservation
Excellent.
and survival.
You're doing really great.
They simply go about achieving these in different ways. Thus, as man is naturally neither calm nor brave, anyone to some degree tends to be alert to dangerous persons, and hence, witch hunts can begin. It is therefore even more important to identify the social personality than the antisocial personality. One then avoids targeting the innocent out of mere prejudice or dislike, or because of some momentary misconduct. The social personality can be defined most easily by comparison with his opposite, the antisocial personality. This differentiation is easily done, and no test should ever be constructed which isolates only the antisocial. On the same test must appear the upper as well as lower ranges of man's actions. A test that declares only antisocial personalities without also being able to identify the social personality would be itself a suppressive test. It would be like answering yes or no to the question, "Do you still beat your wife?" Anyone who took it could be found guilty. While this mechanism might have suited the times of the Inquisition, it would not suit modern needs. As the society runs, prospers, and lives solely through the efforts of social personalities, one must know them as they, not the antisocial, are the worthwhile people. These are the people who must have rights and freedom. Attention is given to the antisocial solely to protect and assist the social personalities in the society. All majority rules, civilizing intentions, and even the human race will fail unless one can identify and thwart the antisocial personalities and help and forward the social personalities in the society. For the very word society implies social conduct, and without it, there is no society at all. Only a barbarism with all men, good or bad, at risk. The frailty of showing how the harmful people can be known is that these then apply the characteristics to decent people to get them hunted down and eradicated. The swan song of every great civilization is the tune played by arrows, axes, or bullets, used by the antisocial to slay the last decent men. Government is only dangerous when it can be employed by and for antisocial personalities. The end result is the eradication of all social personalities and the resultant collapse of Egypt, Babylon, or Rome. You will note in the characteristics of the antisocial personality that intelligence is not a clue to the antisocial. They are bright, or stupid, or average. Thus, those who are extremely intelligent can rise to considerable, even head of state heights. Importance and ability, or wish to rise above others, are likewise not indexes to the antisocial. When they do become important or rise, they are, however, rather visible by the broad consequences of their acts. But they are as likely to be unimportant people or hold very lowly stations and wish for nothing better. Thus, it is the 12 given characteristics alone which identify the antisocial personality. And these same 12, reversed, are the sole criteria of the social personality, if one wishes to be truthful about them. The identification or labeling of an antisocial personality cannot be done honestly and accurately unless one also, in the same examination of the person, reviews the positive side of his life. All persons under stress can react with momentary flashes of antisocial conduct.
Really? Why are you always on my case?
This does not make them antisocial personalities. The true antisocial person has a majority of antisocial characteristics. The social personality has a majority of social characteristics. Thus, one must examine the good with the bad before one can truly label the antisocial or the social. In reviewing such matters, very broad testimony and evidence are best. One or two isolated instances
Why are you always on my case?
determine nothing. One should search all 12 social and all 12 antisocial characteristics and decide on the basis of actual evidence, not opinion. The 12 primary characteristics of the social personality are as follows. 1. The social personality is specific in relating circumstances. Joe Jones said, "The Star newspaper reported and gives sources of data where important or possible." He may use the generality of they or people,
Yeah, people really like it here.
but seldom in connection with attributing statements or opinions of an alarming nature. 2. The social personality is eager to relay good news and reluctant to relay bad.
Really? That's art.
He may not even bother to pass along criticism when it doesn't matter.
Look what I made.
He is more interested in making another feel liked or wanted than disliked by others,
These are so beautiful.
and tends to err toward reassurance rather than toward criticism. 3. A social personality passes communication without much alteration and, if deleting anything, tends to delete injurious matters. He does not like to hurt people's feelings. He sometimes errs in holding back bad news or orders which seem critical or harsh.
Nothing. Don't worry about it. How's the stocking going?
4. Treatment, reform, and psychotherapy, particularly of a mild nature, work very well on the social personality. Whereas antisocial people sometimes promise to reform,
I see now that what I did was wrong. Please.
they do not. Only the social personality can change or improve easily. It is often enough to point out unwanted conduct to a social personality to completely alter it for the better. Criminal codes and violent punishment are not needed to regulate social personalities. 5. The friends and associates of a social personality tend to be well, happy, and of good morale. A truly social personality quite often produces betterment in health or fortune by his mere presence on the scene. At the very least, he does not reduce the existing levels of health or morale in his associates. When ill, the social personality heals or recovers in an expected manner and is found open to successful treatment. 6. The social personality tends to select correct targets for correction. He fixes the tire that is flat rather than attack the windscreen. In the mechanical arts, he can therefore repair things and make them work. 7. Cycles of action begun are ordinarily completed by the social personality, if possible. 8. The social personality is ashamed of his misdeeds and reluctant to confess them. He takes responsibility for his errors. 9. The social personality supports constructive groups and tends to protest or resist destructive groups. 10. Destructive actions are protested by the social personality. He assists constructive or helpful actions. 11. The social personality helps others and actively resists acts which harm others. 12. Property is property of someone to the social personality, and its theft or misuse is prevented or frowned upon. The social personality naturally operates on the basis of the greatest good. He is not haunted by imagined enemies, but he does recognize real enemies when they exist. The social personality wants to survive and wants others to survive, whereas the antisocial personality really and covertly wants others to succumb. Basically, the social personality wants others to be happy and do well, whereas the antisocial personality is very clever in making others do very badly indeed. A basic clue to the social personality is not really his successes, but his motivations. The social personality, when successful, is often a target for the antisocial, and by this reason he may fail. But his intentions included others in his success, whereas the antisocial only appreciate the doom of others. Unless we can detect the social personality and hold him safe from undue restraint, and detect also the antisocial and restrain him, our society will go on suffering from insanity, criminality, and war, and man and civilization will not endure. Of all our technical skills, such differentiation ranks the highest since, failing, no other skill can continue, as the base on which it operates, civilization, will not be here to continue it. Do not smash the social personality, and do not fail to render powerless the antisocial in their efforts to harm the rest of us. Just because a man rises above his fellows or takes an important post does not make him an antisocial personality. Just because a man can control or dominate others does not make him an antisocial personality. It is his motives in doing so and the consequences of his acts which distinguish the antisocial from the social. Unless we realize and apply the true characteristics of the two types of personality, we will continue to live in a quandary of who our enemies are, and in doing so, victimize our friends. All men have committed acts of violence or omission for which they could be censured. In all mankind, there is not one single perfect human being. But there are those who try to do right, and those who specialize in wrong. And upon these facts and characteristics, you can know them.
Coming up next, on Voices for Humanity.
Truly, if people knew the power of knowing their rights, they would know what to defend.
Voices for Humanity, coming up next.